Jesse Norman.
I thank the Leader very much for that update. Madam Deputy Speaker, I know the whole House will want to join me in sending our very best wishes to the victims of the hurricane in Jamaica and now in Cuba and Haiti and the Turks and Caicos Islands. I also, if I may, want to pay a personal tribute to Prunella Scales, who died this week. A magnificent actress, the linchpin of a great acting dynasty, and, as was her husband, Timothy West, a wonderful reader of audiobooks. Madam Deputy Speaker, amongst the news this week have been the following items. The former Leader of the House, the Right Honourable Member for Manchester Central, has been elected as Deputy Leader of the Labour Party and has vowed to work constructively with number 10 Downing Street. The Director of Public Prosecutions has publicly contradicted the Prime Minister in relation to the collapsed China spying case. The Labour Party has fallen in the polls to a record low for a recently elected government, and Irish citizens may be forced now to have a digital ID card to work in this country under the government's new plans. Again, if I may, I'd like to raise with the Leader two important issues, one directly relating to the recent business of the House. As a former Chief Whip, he will know that the first question at Prime Minister's questions always follows a simple formula. The Prime Minister is asked to list his engagements. He or she typically presents public condolences or congratulations and comments on an issue, often an international issue affecting the whole House. And he then says, this morning I had meetings with ministerial colleagues and others, and so on. Unfortunately, since taking office last year, the present Prime Minister has increasingly misused this first engagement question. 2 weeks ago, he used it to avoid making a full statement to the House about China, something that I do not think can have pleased the Speaker's office. This week, he used it to try to score a series of partisan political points, by my counting, the 8th time he's tried to do this since taking office. Now, Madam Deputy Speaker, this is an abuse of procedure. It is a discourtesy to this House. Its effect is to turn an open question into a party political broadcast. It undermines a valuable opportunity to bring the House together every week on a matter of public importance before the usual knockabout of PMQs begins. It's unworthy of the Prime Minister's office and unworthy of the Prime Minister, who is a very decent human being as a person. So could I ask the Leader, could I invite the Leader politely to ask the Prime Minister to desist? My second issue concerns the so-called, and may I wish him good luck in doing so. My second issue, if I may, concerns the so-called graduate premium. The government holds an extremely powerful set of data known as the Longitudinal Educational Outcomes, or LEO data, which link people's school results, university records and later earnings. Many people in this House, the Leader of the House perhaps more than any of us, will know that education can transform people's lives for the better. This data set can show what and how it does so in detail, but most of it remains entirely hidden. Only limited figures have been published, such as average graduate earnings 5 years after university. The government also has information on what happens to those who don't go to university, but this too is withheld. So we still can't answer questions which are for many people crucial. How financially worthwhile is a particular course or a particular institution? How effective are apprenticeships? What difference does university really make? This secrecy weakens public trust and good public policy. Families and young people are being forced to make major life choices without clear facts they cannot see, because no member of the public, or indeed of this House, can see which courses or institutions genuinely improve this kind of opportunity. It seems that government will increasingly use this data themselves to shape policy, but without making those data public. People go to university for many different reasons, and financial returns are only part of the story, of course. But these data are gathered at public expense and describe public outcomes. With the right safeguards, they should be open for review and public debate and discussion. The Institute for Fiscal Studies has explained exactly how. So may I ask, will the Leader ask his colleagues in the Department of Education to make the LEO data public soon?